Hey guys, and welcome back to Hoosier Hardware. Today we're taking a look at the Corsair HS60 Pro Surround, which Corsair was kind enough to send out for review. And basically what I'm trying to get to the bottom of is this thing worth just shy of $70, which is the current MSRP asking price for this headset. Is it worth $70 of your hard-earned money, or is it a headset you should be passing on? Let's take a look. So right off the bat, I did want to mention that I am not going to be reviewing this headset in the same way that a lot of other reviewers might, and that's mostly because, unlike some, I am definitely not an audiophile, nor am I actually somebody that typically wears headsets, which is actually one of the big things that makes this headset stand out from ones I've had in the past, and I'll come around to that more in the conclusion. But with that in mind, there are a few things that I always look for in a gaming headset if I'm going to be wearing it, and the first one is, as a glasses wearer, is it comfortable both when I'm wearing contacts like I am right now and when I'm wearing glasses? And for that, I'm happy to report that these ear cups are quite cushiony and very soft. So even when I was wearing glasses with this thing, it was actually comfortable for hours on end. Like, I played a 2-hour gaming session with glasses on and I still didn't have any fatigue around my ears or where the glasses would pass through the ear cups here. So for that, this thing gets a resounding success. It's a big thumbs up there, which is actually even more impressive considering there is virtually no padding whatsoever. In fact, I don't think there is any padding whatsoever on the inside bottoms of these ear cups. So if you're somebody that has huge ears that stick way out from your head, be aware that there's no padding at the bottom of the cups right up against the speaker grill. Fortunately for me, the cups were deep enough to accommodate my ears, though of course with comfort there, your mileage may vary. And continuing the theme of comfort, the top of the headband is cushioned enough, and the sort of gripping force of these headphones is strong enough to keep them firmly planted on my head. Now, I will say the top of my head actually did have some fatigue after a long gaming session, though that was quickly solved by just readjusting ever so slightly the headband so it rested on a different spot on top of my head. So in longer gaming sessions, you may have to occasionally adjust the headphones, at least on the top of your head, so they're not sitting on one spot. But overall, comfort actually was really solid, and that's my biggest concern whenever I'm wearing any sort of gaming headphones, because ultimately I'd rather wear lesser earbuds if my comfort level is going to be far greater. Fortunately for these things, I actually give them a very solid pass in the comfort department. So now that we're past the comfort level, let's talk a little bit about build quality. First of all, the foam on the ear cups is extremely soft, and my only concern with that may be the long-term usability of these. If that foam slowly gets less and less resistant to being compressed time and time again as these earphones cup over your head, I could see the foam getting worn down a little bit, at which point it would actually become a major problem for me that there's no padding at the bottom of the headphone cups, so your ears might start to sort of bottom out on those speaker grills. That's something that I can't really test in the short term, though it may be a follow-up video way down the road if I do start noticing something like that, because I actually do intend to use these for the long term. But we do have a metal frame on the headphones themselves, as well as some softer touch plastics going on there as well. But these things do feel really solid in the hand. My only gripe with the build quality is that you can't actually turn the earphones in and lay them flat. They are just sort of stuck in this position, which is not really a big deal for me because I don't travel much, but if you are somebody that travels and likes to flat pack your headphones, then that may become a big problem. As far as creature comforts go, we do have a couple of things here that do make these things a little bit nicer to use. We do have a mute button on the back of the left ear here, as well as a volume scrolly wheel thing, and of course the microphone itself is fully detachable, so you can remove the microphone, which, by the way, if you have a different audio input source that's not this microphone, you're probably gonna want to use it, and well, here's why. So as you can probably hear already in this recording, the microphone, which is, by the way, noise canceling, though I would argue based on the quality that doesn't really matter all that much, but the quality coming out of this microphone is pretty bad. So if you're planning on using this headset to stream, then I would highly recommend picking up even a very basic USB microphone to replace the built-in microphone with this headset, because frankly, it's pretty bad. Now, the cable itself for these headphones is about 6 feet long, and it does terminate into a 3.5mm jack, and that's a combination headphone and microphone jack, which you can always apply a splitter to in case you want to split out to 2 separate 3.5mm plugs, which does not come included, and that's going to be one big knock that I have with this sort of headphone and everything included here is just that we didn't include a very, very basic adapter, which I would have loved to have seen equipped here, but it's just not included. Instead, we have this USB dongle, which is gonna enable the 7.1 simulated surround sound when it's connected to a PC and when you're running the iQ software, which, by the way, that's where you control the equalizer and everything else with these headphones. I quite enjoyed the 7.1 surround because I feel like it gave a much deeper sound stage than we would see normally. In fact, when I was sort of flipping back and forth, especially with Overwatch between having it on and off, I did feel like I had a larger sound stage with the 7.1 simulated surround sound. I don't know that it really helped me locating people around me so much as it just made, again, that sound stage feel a little bit bigger. So I actually did enjoy the 7.1 simulated surround, but it is not true 7.1 surround. It is purely software and simulated through this dongle and through the iQ software. So your mileage may vary, but the nice bit is in the iQ software, it is one click away from turning on just the regular stereo sound. So it's very easy to disable if you don't like that feature. And it's one of those things that I fully appreciate that they included the extra feature. And I love that it's very easy to turn on and off. And of course, the equalizer makes these headphones a little bit more valuable on the PC as well, because you can just go in there and you can tune the sound to whatever it is that you like. If you like a little more bass, pump a little bit more bass in it. If you like a little more treble or other different frequencies and things going on, at this point you should be able to tell that I am not an audiophile. Then you can definitely do that in the iQ software. Now, if you're somebody that actually hates the iQ software, again, you can plug this directly into the PC, but if you want use of the microphone and the speakers at the same time, you will need to provide your own adapter to split this out into separate plugs for a desktop PC. If you have a laptop, there's a good chance this will work just right off the bat, because most laptops, it seems like, are including just that sort of unified 3.5mm plug anyways. With all that being said, I will go ahead and toss up the spec sheet for those of you that actually do care about those things. But one of the other things I did want to note with this headset is that yes, it can be driven by a phone. So if you're somebody that wants to actually use these out in public and maybe get rid of the microphone or possibly even use it, you can use this thing with a regular cell phone and you can actually hear them. The impedance is not so high that it's just extremely low volume, so you don't need a dedicated amplifier to drive these headphones. So getting back to my checklist of things that I sort of have as a wish list for a gaming set of headphones, the biggest one is comfort, which these headphones, these HS60 Pro Surrounds, do check that off, and they do it very admirably at $69.99. I've owned some other headphones in the past that are a little bit cheaper that have been awful to wear for any longer periods than about 30 minutes to an hour. So these things check that box, and to me that's the biggest box to check because, again, I'm not an audiophile. The second thing to mention about these is I do feel like they provide better sound than my bookshelf speakers, which I use for basically all of my sound when I'm actually playing games or watching videos or editing or really doing anything like that. I actually feel like, especially with the 7.1 simulated surround enabled, I feel like it has every bit the size of the soundstage going on, even though these are closed back headphones, and I feel like the quality is just spot on. And part of that may be because with closed back headphones like these, I don't have to listen to my PC whatsoever. So if you have a PC that's very loud, these may be a really great solution at just $69.99, and I feel like they undercut some of the competition by a little bit with that price point, giving you a big return on your investment, with one exception, and that would be the microphone itself, which is just bad. Like, if you're planning on streaming using these headphones, then I highly recommend investing in just a different audio input source than this mic. This microphone is just, it's just not good, and it's the one thing that you can totally see where Corsair was cutting what I would say quite a bit of a corner to get these things down to the price of $69.99. So I really shouldn't throw that away. I actually do use that a little bit, but not for YouTube, obviously. So I guess my conclusion is pretty basic. If you're getting these with the idea of using them as your streaming headphones as well as the audio input itself, probably a pass on that front. But if you're just looking for a good set of gaming headphones that's going to give you a lot of options on the software side, as well as maybe an added feature that maybe you use a little bit, maybe you don't with that 7.1 simulated surround, then these things are fantastic, and you can get a lot of mileage in form of just hours upon hours of gaming without having to take them off because of comfort issues. I think Corsair really nailed the comfort side, and I think they hit the sound quality side pretty well as well. So I do recommend these. I'm gonna be keeping them on my desk, which I think is the best endorsement I can give these things, is they are staying on my desk because I actually did enjoy using them. And when my wife is trying to go to bed and I'm still playing games, she doesn't have to listen to the speakers from the other room. But of course, I want to hear from you guys. Do you own Corsair headphones in this sort of $70 price range? And what's been your experience with them if you, in fact, have owned headphones in that price range? Maybe not even Corsair ones in general, maybe just headphones in general. $70. What do you get for your money? Let us know down below. And of course, if you like the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very helpful to the channel. You can follow me both on Instagram and on Twitter at Hoosier Hardware. And as always, I'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos from my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.